Hello everyone, I'm the Sports Wiz 101, and today I'll be giving you my predictions for the NFL postseason. So that's right, I won't be just giving you the wild card predictions of the games you see right there, but I'll be predicting all of the games that take place in the NFL postseason. So let's get started in the AFC. I'll go in the order that these games are scheduled in until it gets to the divisional round, and we'll go AFC then NFC. Let's get started with the Texans and Chargers. This game will take place Saturday afternoon. And ultimately, I think the Texans, they're just not playing well right now. I mean, maybe if they can get a big game from Joe Mixon, maybe CJ Stroud will be able to put the team on his back or whatever, but I just don't see it. I could easily see the Chargers winning this game by double digits. And yeah, I'll take the Chargers to, I guess, put the Texans out of their misery. And then we move on to the 3-6 matchup. To take place Saturday night on Prime, it'll be the Ravens taking on the Steelers. Baltimore, they are quarterbacked by Lamar Jackson, a guy that I have labeled as a postseason choker. This is a guy that I had said in the past that I would not pick him until he won a postseason game. He has won 2 since I made that statement. But yet, that label remains. And you might as well, I guess, double it by the fact he's taking on the Steelers, who are probably the team that knows best how to defend Lamar Jackson. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh, they're just not playing good all right now. Coming in on a 4-game losing streak, including a game to these same Ravens. I don't think their offense is going to be able to do much, because their offense hasn't been able to do much for the past month or so. So I think this is a lower scoring game, but one that I think the Ravens should come out on top in, because again, Steelers aren't really scoring that much these days. I'll take Baltimore. Then we got Sunday afternoon. It's the Bills and the Broncos going at it in Buffalo. Now, this game, interesting. I could see some strengths going up against some weaknesses. The Broncos, pretty good at sacking the quarterback. The Bills, pretty good at preventing those sacks. I think this Bills defense, you want to run the ball on them. The Broncos have not been a good run team. So, I guess which strengths are going to win out, which weaknesses are going to win out is the big question. But ultimately, I'm going with the edge at quarterback, and that is Josh Allen. I think he comes up with a big alien-esque play that tips momentum in the favor of the Bills, and it leads to the Bills moving on. They get Baltimore as their reward. NFC time, we got the Eagles taking on the Packers, and Philly. There, I gotta reiterate what I said at the beginning of the season, which is they're one of the most talented teams in football, and we know that now with Saquon Barkley being there, and Saquon is probably going to be the highest finishing non-quarterback in the MVP race. I think the Packers are going to need to put some points on offense, and I'm not sure they're going to do that, especially not with Christian Watson now on an IR. He tears his ACL. He's going to be out the rest of this year. Decent chance he'll miss some of next year. And so, I think the Packers' lack of offensive weapons comes back to haunt them. Give me the Eagles. Buccaneers and Commanders. Now, if you saw my video from earlier this week, you know I got the Commanders dead wrong. I thought they were going to suck. They obviously do not. And, I could illustrate that by saying that when these two teams met back in week 1, I called Commanders Buccaneers my lock of the week. And while, yeah, I was right that Tampa Bay would go on to win that game, I don't think I would have him as my lock of the week if I had to repick week 1 right now. I think this game is a bit closer than that week 1 matchup. But in the end, I'm going to go with the same winner. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers to beat the Commanders in a higher scoring shootout of a game. I think Baker Mayfield and company just have that one more punch to throw Washington's way. Could be a good one, but again, one I think Tampa Bay should win. Then we got the Rams taking on the Vikings. This was supposed to take place at SoFi. Instead, it takes place in Arizona due to the LA wildfires. And, yeah. I just think the Rams matchup, they're a poor matchup for the Vikings. I think the Rams will move the ball very effectively against Minnesota. And I think that they know what to throw at Sam Darnold to get him off his game. I think the Rams win this one, though hopefully not with as many rough shenanigans as there were last time these two met. Moving on, divisional round. Starting in the AFC, you got my Kansas City Chiefs taking on the LA Chargers. I said in the preseason that I figured the Chargers games were just going to get tougher as the season went on. The second game was going to be tougher than the first. And, well, they were both one-score games. Chiefs wind up winning the second game, which, if you could believe it, is not the only time I've ever seen the Andy Reid Chiefs win a Sunday night game against a division rival by doinking in a field goal off the left upright as time expired. Now, I should probably note that the Chiefs will have some additions since that game. Most notably, Hollywood Brown. He did not play the majority of the regular season. And he did not play in either of the Chargers games. He only played in, I believe, 2 games, which was the Texans game and the Steelers game. I think with Hollywood Brown, this Chiefs offense is a lot more dangerous. I think the O-line's a bit better. Now, it could be DJ Humphries at left tackle. I don't know. Maybe it's Joe Thuney. Again, I don't know for sure what the Chiefs are planning. But either way, I think the Chiefs' offensive line is improved from earlier in the season. And I think the improvements on offense allow the Chiefs to win. Moving on, the Bills and the Ravens. This is a rematch of, I believe it was week 4. Sunday Night Football in Baltimore. The Ravens dominated. But here I'm going to lean back on the Lamar is a playoff choker narrative. I think Lamar Jackson makes one too many mistakes this time and allows Buffalo to get some revenge and get the win as they move on to the AFC Championship. NFC time, we got Detroit and the Rams. Yeah, this is a week 1 rematch again. The first matchup, like this one, would take place in Detroit. First matchup went to overtime where the Lions just wore out the Rams. They just ran the ball at will on the Rams in that overtime period. And look, if this game were to take place in the wild card round, I might take the Rams, if I'm being honest. But in the divisional round, I think the Lions are just going to get healthier. And they'll be healthy. They'll have enough players healthy in this game that I think it'll lead to a Detroit victory. I mean, for one, pretty sure they expect David Montgomery to be back. He's the guy that was the main running back for that overtime drive that I mentioned. So yeah, I'll take Detroit to beat the Rams. Eagles and Buccaneers, this is another regular season rematch. I want to say this was week 4. And it goes with the narrative of bad things happen when the Eagles play the Buccaneers. And they've especially happened when the Eagles play the Buccaneers in the postseason. That being said, this game now taking place in Philly, I think the Buccaneers are now pretty poor on the defensive end. I think the Eagles take advantage of that, and they get the win and some measure of revenge. So, yeah, I'm going to go chalk on my championship game predictions. So now we look at the championship games themselves. Got the Chiefs and the Bills going at it in Kansas City. I'm sure. Shocked. You're all shocked, I'm sure. Now, these two did meet back in Buffalo. Like I said, though, Chiefs did not have Hollywood Brown. And I do believe that the Chiefs' offensive line is a bit healthier. Couple that with, I'm sure the Chiefs have been saving some stuff for the postseason, where they typically own the Bills. I'll take the Chiefs to make it to yet another Super Bowl. And any other matchup, which I should probably mention, I'm pretty sure the NFC matchup is first, but oh well. Lions and Eagles going at it in Detroit. I actually think the Eagles are a pretty good matchup here. I think the Eagles beat the Lions in Detroit. I think they'll be able to stop the Lions in the run game, which I think you're going to have to do if you want to beat the Lions. You're going to have to make Jared Goff beat you, and he can definitely beat you. But I think this Eagles defense is just good enough to allow the Lions not much. So yeah, I'm taking the Eagles on the strength of their defense to the Super Bowl, where we'll get a rematch from Super Bowl, I believe it was 57, where it was a shootout of a game. 38-35 Chiefs victory. And now they rematch a couple of seasons later. In the end, I think the Chiefs win again. They're going to beat the Eagles. I think they can have some advantages by sending pressure the way of Jalen Hurts. I think they'll be able to do what they did in the first matchup, which is stop the run. If you were an Eagle running back in the first game, you did not have a good time running the ball. And I'm not sure I foresee much success for Saquon if this matchup does indeed happen against a good Chiefs run defense. So yeah, I think it's going to be mostly on the Chiefs defense to win this game, and I think they will get the job done and earn the NFL's first three-peat in its history. But there you go, there's my picks for the NFL playoffs. If you like this, please like and subscribe. I'm not sure if I'll be doing much after the postseason. If you have any suggestions for videos you want to see from me, go ahead and leave those down in the comments. Until then, I've been the Sports Wiz 101, and I will see you all sometime in the future.